Silky, steady, smooth. He was a Norris Trophy recipient, Conn Smythe Trophy winner, and a 6-time NHL All-Star. He was a born champion, being the only player in history to win 4 Stanley Cups and 2 Olympic gold medals. A smooth-skating, puck-moving offensive producer who thrived on a team that emphasized defense. Standing at 6'1", 200 pounds, number 27, Scott Niedermayer. Scott Niedermayer was born on August 31, 1973 in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Growing up in Cranbrook, British Columbia, Dad was a doctor and Mom was a teacher, and they were instrumental in Niedermayer's development at an early age. Dad volunteered as the team doctor, and Mom not only taught him how to skate, but she also taught power skating lessons in exchange for extra ice time for young Niedermayer. But that wasn't all. She even enrolled him in figure skating lessons, further laying the groundwork for his skating ability, something that will later define him as a hockey player. At the age of 15, Niedermayer would play for the Kamloops Blazers of the Western Hockey League, helping the team win the President's Cup as champions. Even though they would go on to lose all 3 games in the Memorial Cup that season, Niedermayer's play stood out among his peers, and after a strong second season, his stock skyrocketed as he became one of the top prospects for the upcoming draft. And in the 1991 NHL entry draft, he was selected with the 3rd overall pick by the New Jersey Devils, chosen behind only Eric Lindros and Pat Falloon. Niedermayer would start the following 91-92 season with the Devils, playing 4 games, but he would be sent back to his junior team. Everyone saw his offensive abilities, as he was compared to Paul Coffey for his ability to lead a rush, but like any young player, consistency was something he needed to work on. Niedermayer would go on to dominate that year, leading the Kamloops Blazers to another Western Hockey League championship, as well as the 1992 Memorial Cup, in which he scored 7 points in 5 games in the final tournament. The following season saw Niedermayer earn a full-time roster spot on the Devils, but it was in his sophomore season in 1993-94 in which he experienced his first playoff run, ending in a heartbreaking Game 7 loss to the New York Rangers in the conference finals. Niedermayer came back stronger in the 94-95 season as he learned how to play responsible defense to complement his strong offensive skills. He would end up going on another deep playoff run, scoring 11 points in 20 games, including this crucial goal in Game 2 of the finals, as the Devils swept the Red Wings to win its first Stanley Cup in franchise history. Niedermayer had just won the Stanley Cup, something he would get very comfortable with over the course of his career. The next couple of seasons were down years for him, but in the 97-98 season, he showed the world that he meant business. Even though the Devils played the neutral zone trap, a defense-first system which forbids defensemen from taking too many risks in the offensive zone, Niedermayer still managed to score 14 goals and 57 points. He ended the season second in points among defensemen. It took him a few years to mature, but the Scott Niedermayer whom we have come to love and enjoy had finally arrived. He was smart, able to read the game and position himself so he'd never be beaten. He was calm, as if nothing really ever fazed him, and he was quick, often leading the rush, but somehow still made it back to fulfill his defensive responsibilities. Perhaps most importantly, Niedermayer was counted on to play big minutes, on the power play, on the penalty kill, at even strength, up a goal, down a goal, you name it. He was the one you would trust the most in key moments of a game. He may not have big offensive numbers, but Scott Niedermayer was the motor that drove his hockey team. His skating was so effortless it was said that he could play a full game without any breaks if he wanted to. As Niedermayer developed into one of the game's premier defensemen, he wanted to be paid like one, but the Devils argued that his offensive numbers did not warrant a significant raise, and this contract dispute resulted in Niedermayer missing the first month of the 98-99 season before finally reaching an agreement. Even though the terms of the contract were never disclosed to the public, he would prove that he'd be worth every penny over the next several years. In the 1999-2000 season, Niedermayer got into an altercation with Peter Worrell, in which he got elbowed and he responded with a stick to the head. Niedermayer received a 10-game suspension and his absence was greatly noticeable. He missed Game 1 of the opening playoff round, but his return sparked a playoff run that saw the Devils defeat the Dallas Stars in the finals to win its second Stanley Cup. But what defined Niedermayer as a person the most was in the 02-03 season, as he ran into a cruel predicament that put his life at a crossroads. The Devils continued to dominate and were set for another deep playoff run, and as they advanced to the Stanley Cup Finals once again, Niedermayer was both elated and troubled. On one hand, he was fighting for his teammates, the same brothers he'd been battling with night in, night out with the same goal in mind. But on the other hand, his actual blood brother Rob stood in the way as he played for the opposing Anaheim Mighty Ducks and was searching for his first Stanley Cup. As the finals reached its climax, Scott Niedermayer's professionalism took over as he registered 2 assists in Game 7 in a 3-0 win to capture his third championship. Niedermayer had fulfilled his duty as a teammate, as an alternate captain, and as a New Jersey Devils player, but he couldn't help but feel saddened that he was responsible for crushing his brother's lifelong dream. The following 03-04 season saw Niedermayer solidify his place as a generational talent, as he became the cornerstone of a New Jersey Devils defense that was without Scott Stevens and Brian Rafalski due to injury. As Niedermayer became the temporary captain, his ice time jumped to well above 25 minutes a game, sometimes even reaching 30 minutes. And as he finished the year with 14 goals and 40 assists, combined with a +20 plus-minus, helping the Devils to a record 164 goals against, all without 2 of their top 3 defensemen, Niedermayer took home the Norris Trophy, awarded to the league's top defenseman. Niedermayer was a winner everywhere he went. He has won championships at every level, and he's finally being recognized as the world's best defenseman. Yet, there was still a void in him, as if there was something that was still incomplete, a sin he still needed to atone for. And in 2005, in typical Scott Niedermayer fashion, with all the selflessness in the world, he rejected offers from 14 different teams that would have paid him more money and more term just to sign with his brother's Anaheim Ducks to get Rob another shot at the Stanley Cup. A couple of seasons later in 2007, Niedermayer captained the Anaheim Ducks to its first Stanley Cup in franchise history. He had just won his 4th Stanley Cup, he was just given the Conn Smythe Trophy as the playoff MVP, and he had shattered his personal record of 69 points that year. But none of those paled in comparison to what he was about to do next, handing his brother the elusive Stanley Cup. To any other person, winning 3 Stanley Cups would have been enough, but Scott Niedermayer was not just another person. He believed the best things in life should be shared with your loved ones, and his career was now complete. Scott Niedermayer retired in 2010 after winning his country another Olympic gold medal. He was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2013, and he would also have his number 27 retired by the New Jersey Devils and the Anaheim Ducks. After retirement, Niedermayer splits time in California and in British Columbia. He has stayed part-time with the Ducks as an amateur scout, and he mostly enjoys watching his 4 sons play hockey. Niedermayer and his wife Lisa are active in the community, often doing local charity work. He has also joined the WWF to help protect British Columbia's natural well-being. Along with brother Rob, Niedermayer also runs a hockey school in Cranbrook, British Columbia. Scott Niedermayer will be remembered for his ability to win championships. His skating, poise, and hockey ability set him apart from other players. He was one of the reasons the New Jersey Devils were a force to be reckoned with in the 90s and the early 2000s, and his arrival in Anaheim changed the culture of the young team. Niedermayer showed them how to win, and that's what they ultimately did in 2007. Scott Niedermayer can be best described as the flow of water. His demeanor had the tranquility of a peaceful lake, even during the maelstrom that is the Stanley Cup playoffs. His understanding of the game was like a vast ocean, with no limits to what he could do nor where he'd end up. And when push comes to shove, his compete level was akin to a raging tsunami, overwhelming his opponents with his relentless skating and gap control. And it is with this I'd like us to take a lesson from Scott Niedermayer. Water comes in many forms, and like Niedermayer, we have to adapt to our surroundings. Be not afraid of growing slowly, be afraid only of standing still. Our world is ever changing, and if you're not changing with it, you're falling behind. Niedermayer had been an offensive defenseman coming out of junior, and the criticism with him was in his defensive game, but he was a quick study and he adapted to the defensive system deployed by Jacques Lemaire, and by the end of his career, nobody was talking about his defensive ability anymore. Sometimes in our daily lives, it's easy to be comfortable with who we are, and it's easy to get in a bit of a rut. But like Niedermayer, don't be easily satisfied. Keep on taking risks, keep on challenging yourselves, and keep on improving. Only then can you reach your full potential. It's never too late to start. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video and would like to help the channel, consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. See you soon.